Hi guys, welcome back to the spider room. So, got a little bit of a special one really. Had a few questions, a few little pings have come my way regarding molting. Now I've come in from work today and we've got one molting right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set record, we're going to watch the molt, and then I'll basically just do a bit of a voiceover throughout the video and you can see what's going on. A few little sort of tips and a few little kind of just to reassure you somewhat for those people who this might be the first time they're seeing their spider molt or are querying about why is my spider doing this, why is my spider on its back, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to go through that now. So I hope you enjoy it, and let's run the VT. And welcome back to the channel. So this is about the Nhandu coloratovillosus. I think I've said that right. It's the Brazilian black and white, and I'd come in from work and this one was molting. And I've had a few people, like I said in the intro, about asking me about molting and questions about it, etc. So I've answered those, but I thought I'd do a video and then it's up for all to see. As you've just seen as well, the like and subscribe little thing twanged up, and if you would be so kind, if you're not a subscriber, then to click that like button, hit the subscribe and the notification bell, and it really does help the channel grow. So what we're watching here is the spider is pretty much at the end of the molt. Now it's pushed the exoskeleton off, and this is at 8 times speed. And then what you can see is that the old exoskeleton is in front of it and it's laying on its back. This is perfectly normal, and I think especially new keepers get worried. They see spiders on their back and go and sort of, I don't know, open up their enclosure or whatever. Just leave them be. This is a perfectly natural and healthy part of them growing. They have to leave that exoskeleton because they've grown within it. Basically it's like the suit's too tight and they've got to get out of it. This is back to normal speed now, and this is the flip. So people talk about the flip and the spider getting back onto its front. So that was the flip, and you can see it's a very quick process. It does vary with different spiders, but the flip is quick with this spider, as you can see. So we'll watch that again, and I think what you can see is that it's pushing and then it flips over onto its front. The reason it does that is obviously because it's very vulnerable, and that's why you should never interfere with them. When it's on its back, it is vulnerable. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch it in slow-mo, and you'll be able to see how it actually flips over. So what it's been doing is probably lying very dormant for this period of time, and the reason it's been lying dormant is because it's just getting as much energy as it physically can in order to flip over. So you can see that the body starts to move, and that back leg, if you notice, is just pushing onto the ground, and it acts as like the lever. So it's pushing like the elbow, if as it were, pushing from the front, then the back leg stays down, look, and just push and then flips over. And I think to watch it in slow-mo like that is actually really quite nice, to actually see the whole process happen. And you look around, and what I've noticed is watching it in slow-mo is the got all the little workers about, not in slow-mo but in normal speed, but the workers were about. If you go back to the start of the video, and you can actually see the springtails working, and they're even clearing up that molt as the spiders pushed it off, the springtails were all over it. So it's a very good thing to have in your enclosure. So definitely get a colony of springtails, and they do go from enclosure to enclosure, because I've got enclosures I'd never put springtails in, and they're in there. So they must move about at night or whatever happens, but they definitely move about. So anyway, we're back now to normal speed, and there's the message of this video really. If your spider is molting and you are privileged to witness that, then just enjoy it. Don't interfere with the enclosure, leave it where it is, just stand and watch, and the spider will go through the process. But please don't start trying to turn the spider over, or start trying to pull the molt away or anything like that. That spider knows exactly what it's doing, and I think if we can sort of get the message out there to stop this, then there'll be less messages on the sort of Facebook groups and things like that saying, oh, my molt, I've had a bad molt and whatever else. I mean, yes, there is times that the spider will struggle, and there is times when you may need to intervene, but that's not for this video. The general rule of thumb is they will molt as long as you've got the right husbandry, the right humidity, and don't focus on it being exact. Certainly humidity wise, just as long as there's some humidity, and my big key thing is to have a water bowl in that enclosure. If you've got a water bowl in that enclosure, then that humidity is going to be within there. Keep them at the right temperature, and then they will happily molt and eat and do all the things they should do, and you haven't got any problems at all. So as you can see, we just had a little movement there. This one's just getting all that energy back. It's used all of that energy, remember. So they are exhausted at this point, effectively. They have used all of that energy that they've stored up, gone through pre-molt, usually stopped eating. Some of my spiders do eat up until a day before. I've fed a spider a day before, and then it's molted the next day. So, but the general rule of thumb is, whilst in pre-molt, they will become lethargic because they're conserving their energy. They won't eat, and you'll notice a change in their sort of exoskeleton. So what will happen is it will darken. Potentially they'll rub, certainly the New World species will rub the urticating hairs off the back of their abdomen, and you'll notice a change in colour and a darkening on the abdomen. It looks like somebody's sort of bruised them, or they've got like a black spot, or it will become really, really shiny, depending on the spider. But that's where you need to look up, and depending on what your spider is, you'll be able to sort of, if you Google it, I'm sure there'll be some pictures of your spider being in pre-molt. Also, another thing to remember is, obviously at this point they have very soft fangs. Everything within them has got to harden up, so give the spider time to harden up. With slings, it takes anything from a couple of hours to a day or two, but with older spiders it can take up to sort of 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. Don't feed them too early, don't put them in any jeopardy, and obviously just enjoy the process and watch all those beautiful new colours, and all the fact that you've made that spider grow by looking after it, because effectively that's what you've done. And I think it's a really great part of the hobby, and I love to see mine molt, because they always look so stunning once they've done that. Just a few little tips, and I hope it's made people aware of what's happening when they look into their enclosure and their spiders on their back. You can see there's a web mat, that's perfectly normal as well. They normally do that to lie on, so don't worry. And all spiders are different, so treat them with care, look after them. And I've now got the catchphrase that's I've decided on, and I will reveal that in an up and coming video. So you guys take care, and I will see you soon.